Let me tell you a story that'll stick with you because sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who rewrites the rules for everyone else. Yeah, that's what happened at Fort Eden. The kind of place where every handshake is a competition and every sunrise smells like ambition, gun oil, and yesterday's sweat. I remember the day they told Scarlett, "You don't belong here. Pack your things." You know what I mean? She just stood there too quiet, too slow, not aggressive enough. That's what they said. She didn't argue, didn't flinch, just picked up her gear, walked to the 1,300-meter range, and did something no one else had the guts to try. 3 shots, 3 perfect hits, distance so far most guys just shake their heads and walk away. But that wasn't even the real story. See, her rifle wasn't standard issue. That thing was personal, carved with coordinates, continents, a history nobody at Fort Eden had clearance to know. Etched deep at the bottom, Operation Omega Winda. Name you only hear in whispers if you've been around the block enough to know the difference between a fairy tale and a nightmare. And when Dalton, the hardest, meanest instructor on base, got a glimpse of that, man, you could see it hit him like a truck. The legend they thought they could just kick to the curb turned out to be the ghost their whole training doctrine was built to chase. But let me back up a sec. Scarlett, she'd been an odd one out from day one. Every morning Dalton would bark at her, try to crack that shell, call her a shadow, not a predator, just a quiet observer. She'd answer him steady, flat, never disrespectful, but not a lick of the aggression he wanted. Truth is, she was always waiting for something they never taught in the curriculum: a moment. Not a command, the kind of stillness that only people who've spent time in the dark know how to hold. But none of that mattered when the paperwork came down. Dalton handed her a folded note withdrawn. "Turn in your gear. Report to supply." That was it. In a story, right? Nah, not even close. Scarlett walked to her bunk, packed up slow, methodical, every strap in place. Every item folded like she might have to put it back together on a midnight run. Her personal M24 rifle was propped up against the wall, almost invisible unless you knew what to look for. As she went to clean it one last time, her thumb caught on those etchings, coordinates from missions that never happened, operations that officially don't exist. And that word, Omega Wind, that was the tripwire. That was the moment everything shifted. Dalton, maybe out of guilt or curiosity, came back to check on her. Saw the rifle, saw the etchings. I'll never forget the look on his face, like he was staring at a ghost that just crawled out of his nightmares. Didn't say much after that, just "You're dismissed." Scarlett finished packing, walked out, and headed straight for the range instead of the exit, like she needed to prove something to herself. 3 shots at 1,300 meters, perfect grouping, no fuss. And wouldn't you know it, right then a black SUV rolls up, government plates, tinted windows, the works. Out steps Colonel Granger, top brass, eyes cold as the steel in Scarlett's rifle. He calls Dalton over, looks at the rifle case, and drops the bomb. Scarlett isn't here to pass the course. She's here because she is the course. She's the reason they write the manuals the way they do, the ghost instructors warn each other about, but never expect to actually meet. In front of everyone, Granger makes it official: Scarlett, you're not a candidate. You're the guest instructor reporting to me. You'd think that'd settle it, but people don't change overnight. The other candidates, especially this cocky kid, Torres, mocked her, said she got kicked out, called her a political appointment. Scarlett just listened, never raised her voice, never took the bait. Instead, her first lesson was about breath. Yeah, you heard me, breath. Not marksmanship, not camo, just the simple act of controlling your own body, because that's what separates a shooter from a sniper. Torres rolled his eyes, called it yoga for soldiers, but Scarlett kept going, walking them through patience, observation, becoming one with the terrain. The twist? During a concealment drill, Scarlett disappeared like gone. Dalton and the other instructors swept the woods, found Torres camouflaged and smug. But when Dalton pointed out a spot just a few yards away, Scarlett's voice emerged from the leaves. "You chose based on what you could see. I chose based on who couldn't see me." She'd been there the whole time, so well hidden even the instructors missed her. Torres' jaw hit the dirt, and the rest of the recruits suddenly realized this wasn't some soft instructor, this was the real deal. From there, everything changed. Scarlett started mentoring a new recruit, Riley, quiet, sharp, patient, the kind of kid who listened more than she spoke. Scarlett saw a bit of herself in Riley, took her under her wing, and for the first time you could see a legacy forming. The old dogs like Dalton? Even he started to get it, stepped back, let Scarlett shape the course. The whole base got quieter, sharper rifle shots punctuated by long stretches of silence, observation, mental discipline. But it wasn't just Fort Eden. Word of Scarlett's methods got out. Next thing, she's consulting for Echo Company at Fort Apollo Special Forces, Mountain Warfare. These guys had hit a wall at 1,500 meters, couldn't break through. Scarlett taught them how to listen to the mountain, read the wind, use patience as a weapon. 3 days later, they're hitting targets at over 2,000 meters in conditions no one thought possible. Even the most skeptical, hard-nosed operator had to admit she'd given them something you can't buy or teach from a book. Then came the big one, General Thorne. The man at the top showed up at Fort Eden to see this so-called revolution for himself. Scarlett stepped up, walked him through her process, then nailed a mile-long shot with a calculated wind, delay something most guys would call a myth. Thorne, stone-faced most days, cracked a smile, and announced her doctrine would become the standard for every sniper school in the country. He even asked if she wanted a promotion or recognition. Scarlett just shook her head. Legends are for posters. I just do the job. That's what gets me. She could have taken all the credit in the world, but what mattered to her was the mission, the craft, and the legacy. Torres asked her once, why not seek recognition? Scarlett told him, the best never need to speak. They just complete the mission. True mastery is silent. And you know, she's right, real excellence doesn't shout, it whispers. It echoes in the way others move, the way they think, the way they approach the impossible. So here's my question to you. What part of Scarlett's story hit you hardest? Was it her skill, her patience, her humility, or maybe the way she changed the world without ever asking for anything in return? Let me know down below, what does real mastery look like to you? And if you found a bit of yourself in this story, or just want to hear more about those who shaped the world from the shadows, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, join the conversation. The mission, my friends, is far from over.